Hello, everybody, and welcome to Save or Dice. We're back again with the second episode of Season 3, and we've got everyone here to talk about what we're doing. First of all, we've got Dave to talk about the sponsors. So, Dave, how you doing?
Hey, guys. First off, we want to thank Archania Workshop, who we're doing a giveaway for right now. There's like a blacksmith shop, a graveyard, and some other thing that's really cool that I can't remember off the top of my head. But you can check out the link and enter that contest. Also, Save or Dice promo code for 10% off until which date was that, Cody?
Till March 7th, 10% off with Save or Dice.
Sweet. And also our virtual tabletop of choice, Fantasy Grounds. As you can see, we're playing on with all of our Save or Dice games. And then there is also Dungeon Painter Studios, Pyromancer. Go make some maps. You're going to see some cool maps from Cody tonight, I think. Possibly.
Amazing. Well, let's hand over to our dazzling deviant master of ceremonies, Cody Lewis.
All right, guys. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us back here on Harbinger. I am excited. Gentlemen, are you excited? Are you terrified? Are you ready? Are you ready to go?
A little bit
Are you ready? Are you excited?
I'm looking forward to all the colorful characters and shenanigans that this troupe of 3 halflings and a dwarf
halfling power.
Well, instead of doing a recap for last week, let's just kind of jump into a little bit of roleplay here, kind of get some frame of reference for what's kind of going on through each of your characters' minds. Just real quick, kind of let us know what you're thinking, how you're feeling about this. So let's start off with Jonathan Pruitt. Give us some information about what Roscoe's feeling right now.
Well, Roscoe is, this is what just happened. This whole like temple with the possibility of finding Lawbringer. It's a thing that he's been searching for. I mean, this is like a few centuries this weapon's been missing, and to be out like this quickly, it's almost too good to be true. So he's both overwhelmed and he's elated. Hopefully we can find this thing, and so he's hopeful, and he's not really one for that kind of optimism, and so it's a bit of a stranger to him. He's more of a kind of a button down, straightforward, got to follow the law.
He's feeling kind of eager and anxious about possibly finding Lawbringer. I imagine so. Huell, what's going on through Huell's mind here as you guys have drifted into the Shadow Vale?
Well, I'm a self-taught man myself, so I don't know much about no Shadow Vale or anything like that, but it seems to me if we've crossed the border between worlds, then that's a rare opportunity for a halfling such as myself, and I should look out for opportunities to enrich myself both intellectually and financially.
Yeah, I imagine so. Let's slide over here to Grindlebrew, the dwarf. What's going on in Grindlebrew's mind? You guys started off with a big ambush to head back to Dawn Cross, and now you're in the Shadow Vale. So how is Grindlebrew handling this?
Well, I haven't been out of my cave for 850 years, so Shadow Vale, oh no, this seems kind of strange to me, but everything seems strange. I'm here with my friends, and that's all I really know. There's something about a sword that we're getting. That's what I know. And also, she left me. But I'm fine about that now because I've got brothers.
And Dr. Hill, Braso, how are you feeling? You've kind of been in search of something to lay claim to, something to stake for yourself, and now you find yourself in the Temple of the Blue Rose, in the middle of the Shadow Vale with your cousins here, chasing down a legendary sword. What's kind of going on through Brasos' mind?
Dr. Braso Hill is thinking of the papers he's going to be able to write when this is all said and done. He's going to go down in the annals of the university once he'll finally get the respect that he deserves. And he also wants to know why Roscoe isn't as good as dodging as those corrupted monks we had to fight.
All right. So, gentlemen, we're going to pick right back up where we left. And that is in the middle of your kind of combat here in this first room here in the Temple of the Blue Rose. And as the last guard clangs down to the floor, you find yourselves in a quiet room.
Gentlemen, it's quiet. It's too quiet. I don't like it.
Oh, it's a bit like my old cave home.
Yeah.
Quiet.
Roscoe takes out a cigarette and lights it up. Well,
Now, cousin,
where's this sword of yours, cuz?
Hey, wasn't there some kind of big blue sword we're meant to be finding?
Well, yeah, there's supposed to be. I'm not sure. I mean, we defeated the guards, right?
And as you guys kind of look around, let me kind of refresh your memories on what all you're exactly seeing here. So you guys kind of came into this large chamber, and there were these guards, these guarded statues kind of lining down the main walkway here with emblems of suns on the floor, and there's this heavy, dark, dense, thick kind of tangy fog, if you will, kind of hanging in the air. And that's when the guards kind of showed up. But on the back of the room, very, very, very dimly lit up from the light coming from Grindlebrew, you guys can see a few stairs leading up into another room. There's no door or anything like that. It just seems to lead from one room here in the temple into the next.
That looks
Well, we could-
like a way up there.
Yeah, it looks like some stairs. We should go check it out, see if it goes to another room.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you first.
All right.
Does anyone need any healing before we go up there? Because a couple of you might have taken a few cuts and scrapes.
I'm a little nicked up, but it's nothing I haven't had before.
Yep, I'm feeling a little beaten about now. Half to death, you might say.
On a scale of 1 to 37.
I'm doing all right.
Definitely a 23.
I could do you a... Nah, you're good. It's okay.
Got this.
The others have been nice to me. Grindlebrew thinks to himself.
All right. So...
Ooh, map's
headed up?
happening.
Oh, it's another map. Nice.
Look out.
Oh, no, man.
Go ahead and let that load in for Dave.
Oh, man. Yeah, give it 20 minutes. So.
Let's go ahead and give Dave the map.
It's good, man. It's good. I got the map.
Mm-hmm.
So again, you guys are still here in this main chamber, and this armor from these corrupted defenders, these corrupted guardians. That's really the only thing that you're finding here in the room that's not really kind of nailed down, so to speak. Because other than that, there's really just the statues and then just this big empty chamber.
Have we inspected the statues yet? I can't remember from last time. I don't think we had really had a chance to like get a good look at them or anything like that, had we?
No, you didn't. It was really dark whenever you guys came in here, with Grindlebrew's light really being the only source of light in this thing. The ghostly visages actually gave off a little bit of like a bluish hue, just so they were kind of easy to spot in the darkness, but nothing that would let you, read in the dark, read a scroll or anything like that.
Right. I'll take that lantern that has the light spell in it and go over to the nearest statue and just, what does it look like? Is there anything written on it? That kind of thing.
Could be some clues.
So when you go over to the statue, Roscoe, you can see this too. It's kind of striking because you are seeing these guardians, right? And you could tell that there's some similarities to the Blue Garden where you did your training, kind of how you guys are current day today. But you do notice, in fact, that some of these statues kind of seem like they have armaments on. So whether that was a shift or this was a different thing from kind of how your order evolved over the last almost 1,000 years or so.
Right.
But you do in fact notice that these statues have kind of armor on them, and a lot of them are carrying like staves and spears and stuff like that, versus the kind of short swords that you just recently saw them kind of attacking with. Huell, you don't notice any inscriptions. You don't see anything with writing on it or anything that might give you a clue as to their identity.
I just
Very
remembered
specifically.
something. I have stone cunning because I'm a dwarf, and I know everything about stone.
Oh,
Tell me about these stones.
Tell me about these stones.
How about them stones, though?
What do you want to know about these stones specifically? What kind of information are you after?
I want to know who might have cut these stones, like if they're cut in like a dwarven fashion or if they're cut in like halfling fashion, and like how old they are.
You notice that these don't, in fact, remind you that dwarves have cut these. Typically, whenever dwarves make statues to honor, famous people or to present themselves, even generally as dwarven warriors, they over exaggerate the features. So they have like a lot of very distinctive chin, and it's a lot more rigid.
They're like
in
characters.
Facial structures. Yeah, it's a lot more rigid there. So you notice that it isn't done by that, and also doesn't appear to have the delicacy of kind of elvish. So maybe humans, maybe halflings, but doesn't give you it's not giving you a dwarven vibe at all.
How about the floor around it?
The floor around it. Yeah, you're finding kind of similar things there. Huell, you're not seeing any symbols that stand out. There is nothing in particular. Let me do this here. Let's roll a. If you want to give me an investigation check for this main symbol here in the floor, you guys can go ahead and do that. And I'd let Roscoe make that an advantage. Oh, yeah, with the 21, no problem. That's more than enough.
Oh, step.
Yes,
What knowledge did you say? History?
yes, history.
Oh, I thought you meant investigate.
Yeah, I meant I was
sorry.
thinking investigation, but I absolutely meant history.
Oh.
So
Well, I don't have the same proficiency.
You don't have the same proficiency?
No.
Oh, not
I'll take a 16. 16 is
Yeah.
not bad. Oh, there you go.
you guys are
Ooh.
killing this role. You guys are absolutely killing
Well,
this.
all right, come on over here, Brainiacs.
Because of your familiarity with the Blue Garden, you guys can notice a distinctive lion's head in the middle of this, and you've seen this lion's head before in books, talking about the old order, talking about Mason Treadwell. But again, Roscoe, one thing that you're noticing is that as you go and you're trying to recall what you've known about Mason Treadwell, again, you've never seen anything with armor. But these statues have armor,
Yeah.
and you spoke with Mason Treadwell, and again, symbols built into the floor that look like they were there from the moment this temple was built are giving you kind of that same vibe. That maybe you're not quite sure what to make of it.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
It's definitely not dwarven, definitely not elvish. So it might be
Yeah.
halfling or it might be human, but it's all kind of weird, you know?
Something doesn't
Yeah.
smell right to you, Roscoe?
Well, cause I just it's just there's just some conflicting. Like I've never heard of us wearing armor. I mean, look at these statues.
Yeah, I've
Those
never seen
attacked us,
it.
they didn't have armor. They used different weapons. I mean, I don't know. It smells like a cover up to me. But
Hey, Cody.
Yeah, what's going on?
All right, so my background feature is historical knowledge. When you enter a ruin or dungeon, you can correctly ascertain the original purpose of and determine its builders, whether they were dwarves, elves, humans, Yante, or some other known race. In addition, you can determine the monetary value of art objects more than a century old. Would that apply here?
They said going to university was useless, cuz I don't think you learned a lot there.
I'm gonna say yes. And to Grindlebrew's dismay, you're able to identify the handiwork of halflings. It's not often that halflings have been known, in fact, to cut statues. It's kind of a strange thing for them as a society. But in the few instances that they have here across Esselis, you feel like this is something. The exaggeration of the eyes is kind of a giveaway to you that, in fact, it
was Arkan that actually built this.
Oh, that's. I mean.
Yeah, you can tell. See the eyes? Look how the eyes are just slightly larger
I can see.
than they would normally be.
Yeah, that one's.
Because
got a nosebleed
halflings
there.
are small, low to the ground, but we see a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I have to say, Dwarven architecture is a lot better. You have to admit that. We do what we do best. You guys should stick to doing what you do best. I mean, that's all I'm saying, you know?
Yeah. I understand. Well, I mean, is it safe? Are we going to get a caveman or something on us?
They do. They are very small people, I have noticed.
Yeah. What's up this staircase over here? Huell just shines his light towards it.
Let's go check it out.
From your vantage point, it looks like it just leads into another large dark room. You can't really see how deep it goes with the little bit of light you're shining.
Okay.
Well, Roscoe, maybe they keep that there sword up in there.
It could be. I think we should
Keep
just
it in
go
the highest
investigate.
place, you know, to keep it away from other halflings.
Yeah.
Can't reach it.
You just got to work as a team to get to it.
Yeah. Let's do
That's why we move in threes all the time.
Yeah.
Mhm.
By 3, 9 foot taller than any human.
Yeah. That's what they call a halfling stack.
Yep.
Really? Is it true if
Yeah.
you all travel in one line, it looks just like one halfling and there might be a whole army of you?
That's how we hide our numbers.
Mm-hmm.
It's clever.
Well, you have to be clever when you're small.
Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense.
What's the ceiling look like in here, by the way?
It's enormous,
Okay.
maybe 60 feet tall.
So I barely see it from the floor.
That's it.
Okay. Well, come on. I'll call back to Tevin. Come on now, Tevin.
And Tevin is just kind of just like in awe of all that's going on. And he kind of appears to be taking, just kind of taking this in slowly here. You
Maybe
notice that
Tevin there. You can.
you notice that his sword, he's kind of holding it out. It's got a little shake to it, if you will.
Tevin, put that away before you cut yourself. Here, carry this lantern for Huell.
I can do that. Yes.
You light our
Good
way.
lad,
We'll
good
protect
lad.
you.
Are you sure now? Because you said before that you were going to fight and then you didn't.
I
That's true.
I just froze a little bit.
It's all right.
It won't happen again.
Don't know if I believe you.
You ghosts. And he kind of leans over to Dr. Hill because he's the most learned one there. Are they actually capable of stealing your soul?
Absolutely, Tevin. Hold tight to it.
And you can kind of see him just like,
Yeah.
There's been whole research papers on ghost stealing souls back in the university. I sat in a lecture or two.
Yeah. Anybody got a way to stop that from happening if it does?
I mean, don't you have the magic?
I
I've got some, but if they're like things that are dead, maybe I could have more luck with that.
Hmm.
I don't remember which level I get turn undead. Not yet. No, still bad at that.
Oh, well. Hopefully we'll get incrementally better as time goes by.
I just recommend clenching your cheeks and pucker up. Keep it tight.
Mm. That's good advice. What was our marching order again?
why don't you tell me, buddy?
Tevin first with the lantern.
Roscoe will be in
I
front.
wanted to see how far away we can get from his original name, which was something like Telvin.
Telemundo.
Devin,
At the end of the campaign, we're going to be calling something completely different.
Sarah.
Hey, it's just gonna be.
It'll be Gavin.
Hey, Jacob, can you come over here? All right, so how do you guys want to proceed here? Who's going to be leading the charge, if you will?
Roscoe will go first.
Okay. Followed by?
I will go next. That's fine. I unlimber my whip, get it out, have my machete ready.
That whip was quite effective
Yeah.
against the ghosts here with their metal armors.
Yeah. Huell wouldn't mind being in the middle. Don't like being in the very back because you never know what's going to sneak up behind you.
I'll go in the back then.
I got your back though. I'll keep an eye on your back in front of you.
Okay, you're going to walk backwards.
Mm-hmm.
And the light from Tevin kind of standing in the middle shines bright because he's, just a little bit taller than all you guys. So he's able to hold that thing up and really get a good, clean light, broadcasting in front of you guys.
Very
So-
good, Tevin.
So
By
nice.
literally, you mean twice as tall as any of the rest of us?
Also makes
His arms about here, so yeah. You guys, he makes a great lamp holder at this point.
Yeah, lamp holder. Yeah.
in
Nodwick.
Target.
He's the best Nodwick ever.
So, are you guys wanting to press forward? Do you want to go back? What do we want to do here?
Well, now we're gonna go up the stairs.
So, Roscoe, as you move up the stairs, you don't see anything, that stands out to you. As you kind of press close to the wall right before this kind of doorway, you see more of that ornate writing that you saw once on the front of the door that you guys had to, come through to get into this particular chamber. And very quickly, you find yourself standing in the doorway looking into another large room. The room in front of you, from what the little bit of the light that you can tell, is a little bit smaller, and there is nothing in front of you. There's no statues, there's no benches, there's no pillars in this room. There's nothing with the sword resting on it. It's just another empty room. And from where you are with the light, you can't tell quite how far back it goes.
All right. Well, I say we press on a little bit.
Nothing
Hey,
in
All
here.
right.
Hey, cousin, you don't think that stone guy was yanking your chain, do you?
Well, I'm starting to believe that.
Maybe
That
we
makes
should-
me
Yeah.
wonder.
Maybe we should take a closer look around.
Yeah,
Might be
go ahead and
something
move in.
hidden, like you've been talking about in all these ruins, Braso, and you like press a button and then something happens.
Yeah,
Like a
the
secret
walls are
door?
like the rest of the place, sort of like nondescript.
Hey, Tevin.
There's Tevin.
There he is.
Oh, snap. There he is. So yeah, as you guys press on and into this room, Roscoe, you see something very, very similar. And that is, hello, let's show these guys. Give me 1 second here. There we go. You guys can see that now?
Oh, yeah.
You guys see two more guardians kind of fade into view. And again, there is no sound. There's no water dripping. There's no wind blowing. There is literally no sound.
Cousin, didn't you already have words with this guy?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we had words with 4 of them, but now there's 2 more. I don't know.
Well, last time they came at us when we stepped forward, what do they do if we just and Huell's just gonna kind of approach on, so he's like side by side with Grindlebrew and like see if it can get the ghost's attention. Like, what's it doing?
It seems to be almost, and again, it's kind of hard to see the light that you're kind of shining into the room. There's only so far that you can actually make it out, because the ghosts are kind of a little luminescent, almost, if you will. You can kind of see even where its attention is focused, and it just looks like it's focused straight forward.
Okay. What if we close the shutter on the lantern so that it gets darker in here? Something happen if it's just them illuminating the place?
You want to snuff the light out, basically?
But we'd put the light spell in the lantern, so I guess we just like if we can close it up so that it's not in there or
You
shining out.
close it, and it is very, very dark.
Okay.
You can see the ghosts a little bit better just
Uh-huh.
because it's, your eyes are kind of adjusting. But other than that, there's nothing. It's not moving. It's not talking. It's not making aggressive actions. It's just standing there.
Hey, cousin, why don't you try talking to it? Maybe, do you guys have like a phrase or something for your order?
Like a cool catchphrase that you all use or something.
Password, ceremonial saying, I don't know. Maybe if you say it in the tongue of our people.
Muted. Still muted.
Pro streamer.
Oh, good call, cousin. Maybe if you mime it at him.
They're
Yeah.
being quiet as well.
We can,
So anyway, as I was miming, I'm Roscoe Threestone, keeper of the law. Is this where Lawbringer resides? If so, bring it forth, or I'll dispatch you.
you see no reaction.
Cousin, maybe he didn't like your tone.
Well, what has my tone got to do with it?
It was kind of aggressive and angry.
But I'm aggressive and angry. I'm confused by.
Sometimes
speaks another language.
subtle.
Okay, I'm
Could be.
gonna
What-
say this in common this time.
Well met, fellow ghost. I am Roscoe Threestone, keeper of the law. I'm seeking Lawbringer. Do you happen to be guarding it?
Again, no reaction.
I say we kill him.
I'll speak in Elven. He is Roscoe Threestone, Lawbringer, keeper of something. Give us the sword.
And I'll say in Dwarven, his name is Roscoe Freestone. He's here.
And that's it. Again, you see no reaction. Just the echoes of each of you speaking to these corrupted guardians kind of through the hallway here and reverberating a little bit.
Hey, cousin, you think he's taking a vow of silence?
I mean, there's some in my order that do, but they're not really good law. They're not really good keepers of the law. But you know,
Yeah, who knows what's going on here? This might be all corrupted and not working like it's the way it's supposed to.
I'd be like,
You got a good point there.
Yeah.
Maybe we should just beat it out of them.
We could do that. Or we could just walk right on out of here.
We could, but I think cousin Roscoe is going to want that sword.
Well, you know when Roscoe spoiled him for a fight that there's no way you can hold him back.
well, I mean, you know, it is a flaw of mine.
All right, then.
And at this point, you guys see these things disappear.
See,
Missed your chance.
that's rude.
scared him off.
Could have said bye.
Well, that was easy.
Yeah.
Yeah. See.
Huell doesn't like this. I don't know.
Give me a perception check. Whoever's in the front near the light.
Oh.
Yeah, Roscoe. Yeah, you
There
immediately
you go.
notice your eyes kind of as you're kind of peeling around looking for a danger. Did they apparate next to you? You know what's going on. You catch a little flicker of light bouncing off the floor and casting a little bit of a shadow against kind of a ridge, and that's when you notice
Shut that lantern off.
there is a section of some of these kind of big giant tiles here in the floor that have these ornate carvings on them.
Oh, there's carvings.
And he'll move up and be like, bring that light over here, Tavon. And
Tevin steps up. No problem.
Tevin.
Sorry, I grabbed the wrong token there, buddy. All right. And he helps
Don't you
kind of
grab my
shine the
token?
light. And you can hear in this absolute utter silence just a little of it kind of shaking, just a little bit of the rock that's inside this thing. And you can see him
Huell hands Tevin his cigarette. Starts rolling himself another one.
I'm gonna go up and check this out.
They're like, oh, there's carvings here.
Take it slow, Tevin. That's good halfling tobacco.
Yeah.
As you look at the carvings, you notice a
Half
bit of sun, kind of like what you saw in the first room, very familiar to you by now, with small roses carved into some of the corners of this kind of etching with a bit of a sideways lion's head, continuing the theming of the Temple of the Blue Rose.
So, cousin, you never did say what the whole thing was with the lions and the roses. So did the founder of your order like kill a lion with just nothing but rose stems or something?
That would be
Well, you
impressive.
see, the founder of our order, Mason Treadwell, was walking down a road one day, and there was a lion with a thorn in his paw. And he killed the lion and took the rose. And he skinned it, and he brought it back as a spoil of war.
Wow.
That sounds pretty far-fetched, cuz.
Well,
A
I mean,
little
of course
harsh,
it is.
too.
It's a halfling tale, cuz. You know how we do.
Oh, okay, I forgot. I thought they were respectable types.
Oh, no. I mean, we don't exaggerate the law, but, you got to tell a good story.
Well, how many of these symbols in this room are we? Like, if we pan across the floor, how many do we see? Is it as many that's on the map?
If
that
you
we
see them on the map, that's where they are.
Gotcha. Okay.
So quite a few.
Yeah. I think Roscoe's going to, seeing that there's a bunch of them, he's going to take out his little mat, his bowl, he's going to pour some wine in it. He's got his owl feather, triangle kind of thing, and he goes about ritual for detect magic.
Okay. Also, Jim, did Huell roll for his when he woke up today after his long rest? For his what's his dice?
They were, I rolled them last session. They were a 1 and a 12.
A 1 and a 12.
Are my divination dice, my portents.
Yeah.
And so that's what he's going to be doing for 10 minutes, casting ritual detect magic.
Are you guys going to do anything while Huell is kind of going about getting this ritual prepared?
Yeah, I'm kind of, from where I'm at, I'm examining the marks on the floor, and I kind of I'm struck by an idea, so I'm just going to start moving. I'm going to take dodge action as I do it, but I just want to move along.
Okay, stop. Okay. Stop. Hold up. As you step onto this thing, you see a blinding flash of light, and it comes searing up, and it's white hot very quickly as you kind of pass into the area above this sigil. And so I need you to roll me 2d6, please, sir.
2d6. I would rather not.
Making you roll your own damage.
I know. 7.
Yeah, if you want to take 7 points of damage, it's just white hot flash. And by the way, Huell, while you're in the middle of trying to get this ritual prepared, just immediate whoosh, flash of light, so strikingly bright here in the room. It almost stops you completely from what you're doing.
Shit, Braso, what are you doing over there?
I had an idea, but I got a new one. Don't step on the tiles.
Well, I mean, I could have told you that. We were waiting for whatever he's doing. He's making tea or dinner.
There's a reason we didn't do that.
I ain't making no tea, Roscoe. I'm calling the corners so that I can bring down, and I can. Never mind. You don't even know.
All in the corner. We're not playing.
I read a book one time where you had to follow the pattern. You see, and that's how you knew where the safe spots were.
I kind of thought.
But now I'm thinking maybe you walk between them.
I kind of thought you were kind of meant to be good at this.
Well, I mean, most of his dungeon study has been academic, so.
Oh.
True. All right.
I make my way back over to the party.
Besides Braso, in Halfling, Blue Rose starts with an I.
And so you continue on, and I'm going to tell you the school here, Jim. Give me just a heartbeat.
All right.
School. Is there anything else you guys are doing while Huell is preparing?
No, we're just waiting
I think
now.
I'm waiting for Huell.
Just like stand around Huell while he's trying to magic and shit.
So is this the part
Like, I got blisters on my feet. Fire magic. Why did it have to be fire magic?
I don't know, cuz that looked like more like magic of the stars or something. Blue fire is very rare. It's difficult to conjure into existence. You got to call it down from somewhere, open a minor portal and have it shoot through while you barely control it with your will. It's difficult.
Oh yeah, it comes back as evocation.
Yeah, I wouldn't step on any of them. And it's they can they all dozen or more of these that I see are evocation.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
They all light up exactly the same with kind of that orange hue that it's as you kind of start to feel and audiate the magical aura that they're giving off. You can absolutely visualize this orange tint come to you. You're like, oh, okay. It's all the same thing.
Yeah. I imagine it's a bit kind of like hallucinating for Huell. His vision, he kind of like doesn't really see the normal world. He just sees the flow and weave of magic through whatever plane he's on right here. Is there a way to discern a pattern through the glyphs, a path or something?
From what you can tell, it just seems to all be coming from these individual sigils etched here into the floor.
I actually like just point, because if you go over to the right and do a zigzag thing, it looks like there's a clear path through. And I just kind of point that out. But like, oh, and then I remember from my studies, I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. And I'm going to cast some Cure Wounds on myself because
Go ahead and cure those wounds, buddy.
Yeah. Well, he will try to navigate through the glyphs without getting on any of them.
So how do you actually cast a spell? Oh, wait a minute. Here's a heal button. I made a thing happen. Hey, aren't I supposed to get my wisdom?
Hey. Well done, cousin.
Yeah.
So you said there's a path to the right?
Looks like it.
Well, if you think we can make it through.
We got to take it slow. You don't know what's on this path. Somebody might say like, well, these glyphs are obvious, and they put a trap in the place where it ain't.
That's a good point.
So Huell goes through using his quarterstaff as like a tapping the floor in front of him.
Yeah,
going,
so
going slow.
You tap the floor in front of you, and I'm going to kind of watch where you're going to put your token there. And yeah, absolutely. You tap the floor right there without the sigil, which I'm assuming that's what you're looking for. And nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing happens when you tap the floor without the sigil.
Okay.
As you go to place yourself on it. Now I do want to know, are you guys all crossing through this room together, or is it just you, Huell, that's going to go out and lead and see if you can make it safely across?
Do you want us with you, Huell, or we can stay back?
If you want to, if it help you out.
I'll tell you what. We'll just stay 10 feet behind him and then line up behind me.
It's a good idea.
All right.
Like halflings do.
Yeah. And Huell's tempted to tie a rope off on himself just in case.
And these are so big that, you know, with your little halfling bodies, it's pretty easy to just navigate around for the first few stones here.
So he's gonna step in between these two.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're chugging right along. This is kind of fun to watch. It's like a bunch of ants. And Huell, as you step there,
Roblox.
Stop. You see these guardians reappear.
Okay.
And they are coming out immediately. They are drawing their swords. I'm going to go ahead and roll initiative for everybody, since I've got a way to do that now where I can do that all together. That's super nice for me. And at this point, you can kind of see these things shift into view. They reach down for their swords, and Dr. Braso, they are right. One of them is right next to you, and he is looking dead at you as he draws his blade. What would you like to do, sir?
Well, I am going to take the disengage action and move away from him.
That is not a bad plan. All right, so go ahead and do it for me.
All right, and I will skirt between these. And let's see, I got the movement. So I want to come over here and see if I can't draw him away from my cousin.
Cuz.
And I'm gonna put Tevin up here, by the way, guys. Don't let me forget. He is gonna go.
Oh no, he just exploded.
He's going to go after Grindlebrew. That's when he's going to go in initiative. So
Cool.
you guys can help me remember that. Okay, so Dr. Braso, you disengage. You immediately freak out and panic, and kind of like you look over at Roscoe, and you were like, "I need to create some separation away from these things." And so your first instinct is to back up to try to draw him back and away from the rest of the group. That brings us over to Huell. Huell, you are up.
Yeah, he's all out there by his lonesome. This Guardian number 2, what does it look like his target is? What's this one looking at?
He has his eyes locked in on Grindlebrew.
Gotcha. And then the other one is over there. I'm not sure that Huell wants to draw much of their attention.
And you're kind of already, by the way, on the outskirts of the main light here that's being cast in here, unless you also have a light source.
I don't. Huell's going to take the dodge action and wait for the board to change.
Okay. So you're taking the dodge action, or are you holding action?
I'm dodging.
Okay, so you're going to go ahead and take the dodge action, and you do not want to move.
Correct.
Okay, that brings us over to these guys as they step right up over here on Grindlebrew. And this thing is going to come up and hello now. 1 second. And it is going to make its attack against you.
Oh.
Grindle.
The 8 is not going to get there. Another one comes up and it slashes high over at Roscoe, trying to hit him high. Roscoe, you are able to easily avoid that. And that brings us down to Roscoe. Your turn, buddy.
Alrighty. So Roscoe's going to move right here. And can I try to push the ghost into the little tile behind it?
Yes. You can certainly attempt to. Absolutely.
I'm going to do, I guess that would be a grapple check, right? To try to push it 5 feet?
I think it's
It's just an athletics.
Mm-hmm.
It works the same way.
Okay.
Yeah, same resolution, but different.
Woo!
Hey, Banisher of Hope.
Probably going to fail.
Nice.
Oh, look at that! Because these guardians are also halflings, and yeah, you push them back. At this point, I think you can push them back 5 feet. If you beat him by more, you can push him back more, I believe.
That's fine.
So yeah, you push him onto the thing. Nothing happens.
Well, I tried, guys. Does that count as an attack? Do I get a bonus attack?
It does actually count as your action. Do you have an attack that you can do as a bonus? I think you can do an unarmed strike as a bonus if you land an attack, though, right?
Well, it's just if I make one.
Okay.
So that's 23 to hit?
Yeah, absolutely. And then you push him back and quickly come back over and clang in on this thing for another 7 damage. And that will bring us down to Grindlebrew.
All right, we got one guy up in my grill right now. I'm going to smack him with a warhammer. Die! Oh, that's bad. 9 to hit.
9 is not going to get there. It brings its shield up and easily avoids taking that. Do you want to move, buddy?
No, and I don't. I would do my spiritual weapon, but there's only 2 of them, and I kind of don't want to keep that slot. No one is particularly wounded at this point, right?
No.
Braso is probably hurting the most. You can just tell he's a little bit.
I can't see him. Grindlebrew's gonna pause his turn at that point.
Okay, and then that is going to bring us over to let's do this. David Friant, what is Tevin gonna do here?
Tevin is just going to shine the light for us. He's going to move back here and try and keep us all in the light.
Okay, so Tevin is going to move back, panicking a little bit and kind of reaching down for his sword, but kind of just holding it out and shaking it. Clearly,
Stay still, Tevin.
Clearly struck with fear. And by the way, walking backwards, not really paying attention where he's stepping either.
No.
That brings us all the way back around to the top of the initiative order with Dr. Braso Huell.
All right, Dr. Brazo's got a plan. He is going to try and use his whip.
Okay.
Lash out at the one fighting his cousin Roscoe and try and get that longsword.
Yeah, disarm this fool.
That's a 16 to disarm.
16 to disarm here. Okay. So let's do this. I've got a natural 1. Yeah, absolutely. As this thing gets kind of pushed back and then slammed in, still remaining featureless, remaining emotionless in combat with you guys. You lash out with your whip and rip the sword away. Instinctively, it goes clanging back. It lands about 5 or 10 feet behind you, breaking up the silence, the eerie, quiet, deadening silence here in this room, in between scuffles and shuffles of feet. Would you like to move, buddy?
Not at all. I got you covered, cousin. Get him.
Huell, that brings us back over to you. What are you gonna do?
All right, so hold on, Grindlebrew, and
Help!
Huell is going to not hit the corrupted guardian with his ray of frost.
They move so quickly in the darkness; it's hard to kind of make out the target. Faint here. What are you gonna do? Would you like to move?
I'm going to stand still, and I'm going to call out to Tevin. Tevin, you hold still there. Everything's going to be all right, son.
At this point, the Guardians continue back. One has had its sword ripped over, and it looks back at you, and it gives you kind of this creepy look, and you recognize something, Roscoe. You recognize as it brings its hands together, it does kind of like a swirling push, and you have seen high masters do this before as kind of a parlor trick to focus on their key, where they've taken and put out a bunch of candles in a row in part of a demonstration with just kind of their key and wind and force. But this blasts you in the face. I need you to make a strength check, please. A strength of check of 13.
Oh my God. Just a straight strength check.
Yeah, or save. Excuse me.
Saving throw.
Okay. Yeah.
He discovered our weakness as halflings.
Oh, the 19 gets there.
Oh, Breath of the Dragon, huh?
Because you recognize this, you kind of know that you kind of hold your hand up to try to break the wind, and you gain leverage as you lower your body and widen your stance to handle that oncoming assault. And at this point, this guardian is going to slide over here, and you see it kind of nod over Grindlebrew. Behind your shield, it does the same thing, and it gives it a big push. Go ahead and give me a strength saving throw as well, please, sir.
It's fucked up, man, picking on elderly dwarves like that.
He has a natural +2 to strength. I think he'll be all right.
Strength saving throw, yeah.
Strength saving throw, or be pushed back.
No.
Yeah, the 4 is not going to get there, and you have not seen this before. You're a little unprepared for it, so you think, okay, hold the shield up, but the shield just acts as like kind of a kite to just push all of the momentum and force you back onto this. Go ahead and roll me 2d6, and that will be your damage as another bright flash of white hot heat comes up from the floor and just kind of gives everybody a quick flare to their vision.
Oh, it's hot. It's hot.
That brings us back down to Roscoe 3stone.
All right, so we didn't take a short rest, so I don't have any key left. So I'm just going to make a couple attacks on this guy.
Yeah, pound him.
And we also have a +1, right?
You do, because you are flanking?
That's a 15.
The 15 is still not going to get there. You cling in on the metal, but it kind of glances off the side. Yeah, you come back around, and you're still just a little bit off balance from trying not to step onto that square behind you. Would you care to move?
Nope. Staying flanking.
Grindlebrew.
Oh, that hurts. Tevin, you got this. And in fact, I'll come over here and I will hit this guy with a warhammer. You got it, Van Deun! That's a 20 to hit.
20 absolutely gets there with a big, meaty clang of your hammer as you drive down into this thing.
There you go, 7 points of bludgeoning damage on this guy.
Yeah, absolutely. And you could feel just the big clang off, and you, as you pull your warhammer back, you can see a pretty significant dent, and where it's actually split here and put a little bit hole right where the heart would typically be. Maybe on an immortal man, it might have proved fatal.
Got him.
Let's do this. Jonathan Pruitt, what is Tevin going to do?
Tevin is going to does he even have a weapon?
Oh yeah,
Got a sword.
yeah, he's got a sword.
You should have him do the help action.
Yeah, Tevin is actually going to come right here, and he's going to give Roscoe the help action.
Be a little bit brave there and put himself, after Grindlebrew said you got this, snapping back into his kind of warrior sense of fight or flight. And
yeah,
so
he sees everybody ganging up on this one, so he's like, "Yeah, we can take it out quicker if we all hit it."
And that
I think he runs up and shines the lantern in his face.
that brings us back around to Dr. Braso. Huell, what would you like to do?
I would like to beat this fucker about the head and shoulders. That's what I would like to do.
That's what I was
So,
about.
stab out with the long sword, and that's a 19 to hit.
The 19 absolutely gets there.
All right, so we're gonna stab this freaker for 5 points of damage. That's right, halfling might. And then the whip is gonna come around. It's gonna spin it over his head. Oh, 23.
Absolutely, Dr. Huell.
Get along, little doggy. Get along.
Named him
Never
after
came
my
around,
dog.
9 points of damage.
Never changed name. Yeah, absolutely. Clang as it kind of punctures through. You come back around, whoosh, and it rings off again. Would you like to move, buddy?
Nah, I'm good where I'm at.
Huell, that brings us back around to you. What would you like to do?
All right, Huell, seeing the predicament that he's in, surrounded by 4 glyphs, is going to take a shot at break out his wand, and frost forms along the length of it and shoot out at well, that's not the button I wanted to hit. Not a chance. And it goes sailing over all their heads.
You guys are rocking those halfling ones tonight.
I know, right?
Again.
Those halfling ones are rough. And then he's going to move right here, so he's not surrounding, not as surrounded by so many glyphs.
Yeah, absolutely. And that brings us over here to the Guardians. This Guardian, Roscoe, you can see it just in time to tell people to brace themselves as he does kind of a swirling move, continuing on with that same theme of building that force push, and he's going to come down and slam into the ground with the metal gauntlets that he's wearing. It's so strange to see this act like a monk but be armored, and it's so strange. And I need everybody within 5 feet of him to give me a DC 13 or be pushed 5 feet directly back. Or you guys, by the way, since it's not going to affect you at the bottom, you guys can just allow it if you'd like.
I totally allow it.
Yeah, absolutely. And so Roscoe, you get pushed back 5 feet. And then let's do a quick little check right there. Yeah, he's going to get pushed back 5 feet. Grindlebrew, are you going to try to stave this off? Or
I gotta stay where I am. No, I'm not.
yeah, again, just whoosh, pushes everybody back. Roscoe, go ahead and roll me a 2d6, buddy, as the floor lights up in a bright flash of hot heat again. And this thing,
4 damage.
this thing follows back over and tries to close in. And then this guy, the second Guardian, will, seeing Tevin kind of fall down at his feet, will just try to just stab straight down onto him.
Tevin!
We love you, Tevin.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he's going to get there. And so, yeah, he stabs down on Tevin as Tevin takes a pretty nasty little poke from this. And you guys can see it clearly come back up. Huell, you have a really good sight of this as it pulls the sword up way too high. And you can see the bright red blood of Tevin kind of dripping down on this glowing blue blade. And that brings us back around to Roscoe. Roscoe 3stone, what would you like to do, buddy?
First off, he's going to move off of this glyph, move back down.
It's a wise decision.
and you know, this cannot stand. So he's going to continue the assault. Oh my God! Another halfling one.
Woo!
The halfling ones are hot tonight.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20 is absolutely going to get there.
I punch him in the nuts for another 7.
Another 7 damage. And give me a perception check there, Roscoe.
Oh, I sense with my fists. God damn. That's like the 4th 2 I've rolled.
Oh my God, I can't script that shit. Okay, are you gonna move further?
Yep.
That brings us down to Grindlebrew. Grindlebrew, what would you like to do?
Anyone need any healing?
I'm pretty hurt.
Okay. So you can take a cure wounds. So D10 right on cure wounds. Math. I think that'll do. It's 6 plus 3. 9.
9.
9.
6 plus 3 equals 9.
I'm gonna move there and cast cure wounds on you, and you'll feel a whole lot better. I press my ring up into him. I kind of like ring bump him, and the heart type love magic goes out of it into his wounds.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can immediately feel kind of all that rejuvenating you. And as you look down, and you can see like a little bit of dried blood now from a fresh wound on your arm, where you've scraped along the floor here, is kind of sealing and cinching back up. And then that brings us back over to Tevin, who is not going to Grindlebrew. What is Tevin going to do here, Will Jones?
Well, he's going to turn around and run.
He's going to turn around.
No, he's going to use his short sword and smack him one.
Yeah. All right. So we can do that. That's the thing we can do. He is going to slash out at this, and the 17 almost getting there, but not quite, as it clings back over, and you can see the Guardian slam this thing back down to the ground. Tevin's got 15 feet of movement. Is there anything else he wants to do?
He's standing fast for his friends.
Okay. And that brings us back around to Dr. Braso Huell.
All right.
Whip has been effective tonight. What are you going to do?
He's going to come up here, and he's going to give some aid first with the short sword to the one that's squaring off against Tevin, because Tevin looks like he could use some help.
Yep, not able to get there.
Do it. And then he's going to whip the whip at the other one.
For some reason, as you come up, you can see the Guardian widen his stance also, deflect yours down to the side. You turn over instinctively and give a crack as it pops along this empty chamber across. And for some reason, that is so loud. And you actually see it tear the arm off of this ghostly figure as the rest of the armor comes clang, 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 slamming down into the ground here in the chamber.
See, that's how you do it, son. You distract them by attacking the first one, and then you kill the second one.
Huell, that brings us back around to you. Been very effective this combat.
Yeah. Well, somebody's got to supervise and direct the whole situation, because, Huell ain't going to put himself in any kind of danger or anything. That's just beyond the pale. So he's instead going to try to tag him on one of these motherfuckers with his Ray of Frost.
Yeah. Fire it out there, buddy.
It's his specialty.
Oh, the 16.
Oh, is it 16 hit?
Does not get there.
I didn't think so.
My man.
I thought their AC was like 18 or something.
Their AC is
They're
ridiculously high. And so that too bad we don't have a touch AC, right? All right. So now,
Where did the AC touch you?
Yeah, exactly. So now you see this guardian kind of try to barrel around, and Braso, you're going to get an attack of opportunity here.
Oh yeah. So we're gonna try and stab him in the foot with my short sword. See if we can't pin him to the ground like a bug.
Yeah, absolutely. You turn back over after cracking off that whip. You see it making its move, and you kind of get that little slash in there. Very effective as you puncture through this armor. It comes back around over here, coming up in a big twist in the air and back down, whoosh, with another wave of force. Dr. Hill, go ahead and give me a strength save, please. Yeah, absolutely.
16.
Seeing it coming, knowing it's about to happen. Tevin is going to be much less fortunate as he goes flying onto this thing, landing face first down into this. And this is not going to be pretty for him.
He gets incinerated.
And you hear just this awful kind of scream, bloody murder, hot weld, and he kind of rolls over to the side off of this, and you can see Huell. You can see kind of this smoke and this last little bit of light that is as this lantern is fallen down onto the ground. You can see the smoldering heat coming off of his body and off of his armament. From what you can tell, he is not breathing.
Come on, Tevin, shake it off. You can do this. Come back to me,
Go
Tevin.
up there, Devin.
Just a little bit of fire wounding.
Roscoe! That brings us back around to you, buddy.
Roscoe is going to run straight at the ghost and like juke him out and ninja roll to the other side of him, setting up a good flank with Cuz.
Look at that.
Just Cuz. And give me something good. 15.
15 is not going to get there.
And go ahead and try to follow it up with a punch. And that'll do it.
21, absolutely. And you can see it kind of fall for your juke. It ducks out of the way of that first attack. You catch it off balance, and you're going to follow that up with a third one?
No, I don't have any key.
Oh, that's right. That's
So,
right. Okay.
Yeah, just finish it up with a punch to the spine.
Give me another perception check, please.
I can do that. 18.
18. You notice a little wisp of smoke where you pull your hand back away from this thing, from the dent that you've left in it.
Oh, a wisp of smoke?
A little wisp of smoke. It's really hard to catch in this very, very dark room, but just a little wisp of smoke. And that brings us back around to Grindlebrew.
All right, then, let's see what we got here. You'll be fine, Tevin. I'm gonna come in here, smack him with the what? I would heal you, but I'm kind of out. That's 12 to hit. Nope.
12 is not going to get there.
You'll be fine. I just offer him words of encouragement. Just a wee bit of third-degree burns all over your body. You'll be fine.
Dave, it's your turn with Tevin. Could you make me a death saving throw, please, sir? Not on your sheet, just roll a 20.
It's a 15.
Yep. Okay.
I would
Grindlebrew.
And then that brings us back around to you anyways.
All right. I would like to I didn't grab a healer's kit, too bad. I will try and make it a medicine check to stabilize Tevin.
So if you do that, you absolutely can, but I'm not going to let you give your flanking bonus over to Roscoe.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
Stay with me, man. Oh, that's an
and you're
I'm a halfling.
If you kill him.
fumbling, and
Oh, there it is.
There's a 19.
you're fumbling in the dark for your bag to try to grab to grab some leaves out from your kit, and then as you do that, you drop the bag and you see them. They just fall right out onto the floor in front of you, and you just snatch them up and begin to apply them, just chomp on them, and try to give him a little bit of aloe here to soothe his wounds.
I go in from mouth to mouth right away.
Absolutely beautiful. Huell,
No
that brings us
hesitation.
back around to you.
God damn it, Tevin, don't you die on me.
Huell just watches him.
Are you going to attack this ghost?
No. No. Look, if anybody cares to look over, Huell is finishing
Blowing
up
a
his
cigarette.
cigarette with his hand, with his like arm up on a quarterstaff, and he's just like, "You guys got this shit. I don't see why you ain't dead yet, boss."
Jim Davis, you still have inspiration, or I would give you inspiration again, sir.
I know I do still have it.
Right. And so that brings us back over here to this ghost. And yeah, he is going to turn and put his focus down on Roscoe. And he's going to lash out at you.
I didn't hear no bell.
For a 10. He's not going to get there, as you easily see this attack coming. And you kind of got caught off for that wisp just a second, and you're right back into the thick of things. You slam the arm to the side. And that brings us back down to Roscoe.
Yeah, as he swung, I basically like rolled to my left and popped up right here across from Grindlebrew. And I mean, Roscoe's going to yell out like, any of y'all notice that there's like smoke coming off of these things?
No, I'm just looking at Tevin. He might be dead.
I mean,
The smoke coming off of him. He's burning alive.
Yeah, the 19 gets there.
Finally hit, swinging horizontally with the law. It's going to be 9 damage.
Very effective 9 damage, let me tell you.
And then follow that up with a punch to the nut. 16 is going to miss.
16's not going to get there.
As I miss his ghost nuts.
And specifically looking for that wisp, you didn't notice it on your sword again.
I didn't notice it on the sword, but it did on the... Okay.
Grindlebrew, you're up. And you got that sweet tactical flanking that's going on in this combat.
That makes it a 12.
A massive 12, and these things move so quick, even in their armor. It's
So
just hard
fast.
to land something solid there.
It's all a blur to me. I can't barely see him when he moves that fast. My old eyes need my prescriptions. I need my varifocal lenses.
Jim Davis, give me a D20 roll for Tevin.
Oh my God, Tevin. Yes,
Oh,
yes,
look at
boy.
Tevin doing quite
Staying in the fight,
smashing.
boy.
Will not go quietly into the night.
Back around to Dr. Hill, who you feel like you've
I should really heal that guy.
stabilized him here.
All right, so did you darn boys get this job done yet? I guess not. So I will stab with my short sword. And that was merely a distraction. I'll take the attack of opportunity
Okay.
and
You
lash out with the whip.
With the whip. I'm absolutely 100% going to give you that flanking bonus for Roscoe there with your whip, and it is going to make contact.
For 4 points of damage.
Yeah. Crack! It's very loud for you, Roscoe and Grindlebrew, as this thing is cracking right next to you guys against this metal armor.
Yeah.
All right, and back over to Huell. Would you like to attack with that advantage there, Huell? That inspiration, buddy?
No.
Not really.
No, he's fine. Like, just wait. I mean,
And the ghost is the corrupted guardian's going to come back up, and he's going to try to push everybody. So I need all three of you guys, even you, Dr. Braso, to give me a strength save, please. DC 13. Oh, Roscoe makes it. Dr. Braso makes it. Is Grindlebrew going to knock you in anyways? I didn't see a... Will, can Grindlebrew give me a strength
buddy.
saving throw, my man?
Of course. I'm so strong.
All right, so I think it would be logical if Grindlebrew slammed into
He's a
you.
big guy.
I think it's logical here, Dr. Braso, as each of you guys are going to go tumbling back 5 feet.
Oh man, I
so
can't get
go
a
ahead and
second
give me-
saving throw.
Give me a dexterity saving throw.
You definitely see
after you
him
try to
coming,
kind of
to be
force
fair.
down on it and then cut out of the way as you see Grindlebrew smashing into you.
It was a 17.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll let you slide over to the side here to narrowly.
Whoa!
One
One
time.
Left.
One time. Roscoe, back over to you, my man.
And again.
We got a mute there on Pruitt.
We've got a classic case of Pruitt being mute again.
That's muted Pruitt. We know what to do with that. So I'm going to forgo attacks with my sword and only do punches this time. Give myself a +2 to AC. And so there's a 4. Everybody, what's the 4 count?
Swing over wide. You come back in, and you just don't feel like you have the extra reach there without the sword to draw up into it. And guys, this ghost is just not going down. Grindlebrew, what would you like to do, buddy?
Probably not going to help. I'm going to try Mullen Huell, though. I'm so happy you believe in me so much, Huell. It means a lot. As I move back in on a 19 to her
absolutely.
there.
You slam into it and give me some damage. And you cling in on it. Not very effective.
I'm having one of those days.
Not very effective. Dr. Hill, what are you going to do, buddy?
Good job, old timer. Death by 1,000 cuts.
That's
Move in.
my plan, yeah.
Crack it off, man. Give me that whip.
Fly the whip.
Oh, throw damage.
Oh my God, let's kill this thing.
For 7
And
points.
for the second time tonight, Dr. Hill, you come back in, you see exactly what needs to be done. You see Grindlebrew come in with his hammer. You wait for him to pull back to get that kind of natural window. You slide up and you just let rip your whip as it cracks and clings against the metal, slashing the helmet and cutting deep through the metal, denting into it as it drops down to the ground. Cling, 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 cling. And the room goes silent again.
Yeah, my GPA in whips at university was 4.0.
It's pretty impressive.
Really good with the whip.
It's just...
You
Well,
whip
you're right there,
those guys
Tavern.
back.
I look at the smoking ruin on the floor. You didn't have that, did you? I really thought you had that. I feel kind of guilty about that. I would heal you, Tavern, but I'm all out of spell slots and all out of my cleric domain features, so you fucked me.
So, what are you guys planning on doing about Tavern?
Feel better. Maybe we should take
Is he
him out of
is he alive? Is he stabilized? Did he pass his third death save?
He's breathing. Yeah, he's breathing between the medicine check and the death saving throws. He's able to stabilize. He's breathing and unconscious, and he will regain 1d4 hit or 1 hit point, 1d4 hit points after 4 hours or something like that.
Some shit like that.
Something like that. It comes back up on 1 for sure, at least. Maybe we should get him out of here, guys. You know, he's not looking very good, and I'd hate to leave our best man behind.
Yeah.
And right now he is still unconscious, by the way.
It's good we can talk bad things about him.
Yeah. I mean, I got no problem if we want to leave and see what else is out here. Maybe that, what's his name? Dreadwell? He might be able to help us out, you know? I mean, he's lived down here this long. He might as well know what's down here.
Well, if he's going to live, the other thing we could do is just bring him over carry him over the threshold, as it were. That brings back memories.
No, don't think about that.
Wait, you can still remember that?
Oh, this is like montage plays before your eyes, like the scene from the beginning of Up just plays before your eyes. and they fall in love when he's young, and they grow old together, and she dies. Oh man! But instead of her dying,
crying.
Yeah,
Roscoe's just crying. It's beautiful.
Maybe we should take him across the other side and just wait for him to heal up a bit.
Yeah, I got no problem with that.
We've came quite far already. I don't want to go all the way back,
That's true.
Agreed.
Well, Roscoe is going to move on ahead, step over Tevin into the next safe space.
Yeah.
I guess I'll carry.
Yeah.
Tevin,
Does anybody need
drag
help
him.
carrying Tevin?
Can I help him carry Tevin?
I tell you what, I'll push and
Between
you pull.
the two of you, I think that you would be able to, in fact, carry Tevin.
Okay, I'll just kind of get him up on my back a little bit. And we'll just make our way through the
Through the maze.
Through the maze. Yeah. Oh, he's all.
And now that you guys kind of you're looking at the light and you're like, okay, this is safe. You kind of step over here. Huell, if you're still testing things with your staff, you're able to do that pretty well and pretty easily.
I bet we could just stick him in one of these corners. He'd be just fine.
You know, I think you might be right.
I mean, maybe pin a note to him or something, just so he knows.
Pop him there, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, pop a note on him. Like, you know,
He'll
left.
be fine.
He'll be right back.
We'll be right
And,
back.
and as you
Gone
guys,
to get sword. Be right back.
Roscoe and Huell, kind of as you guys are kind of like looking and checking, you look and you're like basically to the end of the room, and you can peer, or you can already peer into the next room out in front of you. Again, the light does not go nearly far enough to give you the full picture of what you guys are seeing. But you come into a third huge chamber. And let me share this map here with you guys. You guys come into another huge chamber here. And that's what you guys see in front of you. From the second room, kind of that middle room that you guys were in there, kind of peering in with the light, you can kind of maybe make out some statue-like figures that seem similar to the ones that were in the first room. But again, without you guys talking, unless you're moving and walking,
Definitely
is
got
this
a
map
definitely
is
got a
utter
map error.
silence.
Yeah,
Might
is
be
this
the
map
wrong
insanely
map.
huge?
I've got like
I've got four giant squares.
Yeah, four giant squares out of focus. It may have been errored on saving.
Let's try to share sheet one more time here. I think it's maybe loading. I'm showing that all four of you guys actually have this map.
Okay.
So we
It's called 2.03.
Yeah, 2.0, 2.03, room 3.
Yeah, I closed out a bit. If you could try sharing that one more time.
Okay,
Yeah,
let's
see if I can
let's
bring it
share this one more time.
One more time. Yeah, I still
Yeah,
got
I can see here.
map is huge.
Oh, are you seeing the full map, Pruitt?
Yeah, but I mean, it's like I mean, it's insanely zoomed in. Where like
Right
It's like
click on
zoomed
it.
in on
So
four squares.
right click on it, and then you should see a little thing to the right side that says resize.
I got it, yeah.
And then if you go to resize, you can actually go up to where it says small size.
Damn it, it's just fucked me.
oh, hey,
And then that will shrink the map, and then you can kind of just grab the corner and drag it up to the size that you
Okay,
want to.
that is...
Okay,
yeah,
I did that, and it went back.
Yeah, it went back to the... Yep.
Insane, weird.
Yeah, the minute
Okay.
I zoomed in, same thing.
Well,
Like,
what you guys see in front of you is you may looks like the stream kind of has it. It's still breaking there. So let me just close this out here real
as long
quick.
as I
and
don't
see.
click on it, I can move around. I just won't be able to move tokens on it.
Okay, that's not a problem here.
If you go do the same thing except instead of small size, you do original size.
I got
it.
that.
It worked for me then.
Oh man, it went out again for me.
Okay, yep, that totally does.
All right, so let me go ahead and I'm just putting you guys on the map just for reference, but not because you guys have moved into this room. So that's what you're seeing here is you're seeing another large, huge, empty chamber with vaulted ceilings that you can't, as you kind of are peering into the room, you can't see. But at the back of the room, there is a light. And it is on a raised platform and kind of on a half pillar, kind of like almost a small altar thing. And Roscoe, because you were one of the first ones across the room along with Huell, you can see it without a doubt, beautiful and clearly in crystal, a golden lion-headed sword sticking kind of up into this pillar.
Lawbringer.
And you're trying to figure out where the light source is coming from. There's no torches. The walls aren't lighting up, but it's clear as day. It is clear as day to you. You can see it all the way cutting through the darkness. And in the space in between yourself and where this thing is on this kind of raised platform, it's so dark you can't even see what's there. It's pitch black right there for the few feet till you get back up on the altar. But you can absolutely see a golden lion-headed sword in the back of the room.
Did someone pick up the lantern?
Yeah, I assumed one of us would have grabbed it.
Yeah, we made the assumption that one of
From
you guys had
Tad,
that.
or not Tad, Tevin. I don't mind holding it. Huell doesn't.
We could just leave it on his chest and drag him around by his foot.
So do you guys want to go ahead and make your way into this room? Do you want to bring Tad? Again, you don't see any doors. It doesn't look like anything necessarily might close behind you.
Mm-hmm.
But you are seeing 8 more statues in this room.
You don't think there's going 8 of them come after us? Y'all ready for a fight against 8 of them?
Do y'all want to maybe rest in the previous room?
What if they come in? What if they just come in the room while we're resting?
Well, remember, in the other rooms they didn't show up until we actually like entered
we got
the
to go
room.
towards them and then they pop up.
Yeah.
I think we could
So
probably
maybe
take
we
at least
could,
a
like-
quick one, you know, just a quickie.
We could, yeah. Let's have a quickie, a bit of a rest.
And for a quickie,
Yeah,
Maybe we can get Tevin back up on his feet.
that's true. That'd be nice.
nice for him. All right, let's maybe we backpedal a wee bit, take 10, rest up a wee bit. I can get back some of my spells and get back some more healing, and yeah, sounds good.
Yeah.
So you guys want to head back into the last room and very carefully making sure that you're not moving into any of those squares. You decide there's no reason. If something is going to happen because of our presence, let's go ahead and heal up. And yeah, so do you guys want to try to take a long rest? Do you guys want to try to take a short rest? What are you guys going to try to do here? And who is anybody going to be on watch?
Honestly, Roscoe would argue for a short rest just because of his impulsive nature. But he does realize that we probably need to rest for a bit. He could be talked into a long rest, though.
I'm pretty out of spells from once we came in here, so I would like a bit of a longer rest. But you know, I'm an older guy, so I can take long rests.
True.
I can take a short one if you want, though. And then I just got back me, my classic healing. Then I'm just down to my warhammer and cantrips and stuff, which is fine too.
I'm open to either. I could do.
You always know the wise path.
Well, I mean, it seems like to me that we've been pretty banged up since we got here. We don't quite know what's going on, so maybe having all of our wits about us will be best way forward.
That room looked pretty final, you know, like
There's 8 of them.
8 of
Yeah.
them. There's
Yeah.
4 of us,
You're right.
5 of us with Tevin.
Could get Tevin back.
Tevin would be helpful to have. At the very least, he'd
Yeah.
stall them a bit.
Think about it this way,
Well-
Roscoe. I waited 850 years to meet you guys. You can wait a couple of hours to meet whoever's in there.
Sure. I agree.
Somehow that makes sense.
So
All
you
right.
guys are gonna long rest here. You guys are gonna really like set up some camp, pull out rations here in the middle of this temple of the Blue Rose, this corrupted temple. And yeah, absolutely. So I'm gonna kind of just fast forward a little bit as you guys are going about taking your watches. You're not noticing any sounds. As each of you are kind of on watch and trying to rest and heal up a little bit, a few hours in, Tevin is kind of sitting up again. He's gained consciousness, and you guys can kind of chat with him a little bit. And I need each of you guys to go ahead and give me a saving throw. Let's do a will save, if you don't mind.
What is that?
That is the best
Oh,
kind of save.
excuse
Dave.
me, a wisdom
Before those
save.
bastards changed it.
Here's 5 rules from Dungeons and Dragons 5e that you may or may not get right if you're mixing your editions. Yeah, can you give me a wisdom saving throw, please?
Oh yeah,
I'm
that's
still
cool.
I'm still salty that it's no longer Will.
It should be, anyways. It should be will.
I agree.
And so
I never
Huell,
return my
you
calls.
are so cool and casual about this place that you're really not feeling.
He falls asleep on his watch.
Yeah, you're not
No.
really feeling anything. But Grindlebrew, during your watch, you're starting to feel a little bit. Each of you guys are going to kind of start to take on just this kind of feeling of you're taking on a little bit of sadness, right? The more you're thinking
Constantly.
about your wife,
Yeah.
you're thinking about Gregor, and you're not angry at him. You're just frustrated and kind of just, it's just so heartbreaking to you, thinking that you're not going to be able to wake up next to your wife again, and you're not going to be able to share, you know, the morning sun with her, or an evening, you know, dip in a pool. You're not going to have any more of those memories here as you age, and you're kind of feeling like you might be alone for forever.
Kind of, yeah.
That's kind of what you are starting to take on, is a bit of sadness in your emotion. Roscoe, you are feeling guilt. You are starting, during your watch, you really start to feel a little bit of guilt, and I imagine you probably know why you are feeling a little bit guilty here. Yeah. But you it's starting to eat away at you while you are sitting here. And then finally,
should have given the map back. So stupid.
And finally, Dr. Brazos, you are feeling anger. You're starting to just feel, for some reason, you're getting really frustrated with how all of this is going on. Why are you having to do all the work? Why is nobody else? Why are your cousins? Why did Huell just stand there while you were fighting for your lives? Roscoe was so ineffective in combat. Why you had to do all of the work without your dazzling display of whip prowess,
whipmanship.
You know, you're kind of starting to take on those emotions, and ultimately, you guys are allowed to take a long rest.
It belongs in a museum.
It's my whole childhood all over again.
Huell wakes up whistling and hey, how's it? Y'all sleep all right?
I feel great.
Oh shit, Grindle.
Yeah, I feel fine.
What's up, cuz?
What's the point? God.
Jeez. Well, I got sausage rolls for everybody.
Let's just go get this freaking sword already.
She used to make those.
Oh, well.
I'll never have one again.
I'll just I can just eat yours then. That's fine.
You're so lucky you fell asleep.
I like to eat my feelings.
You didn't have to listen to the dwarf talking about how he's never going to skinny dip with his wife again. Could you imagine those two naked? Oh.
Spirits would get tangled.
Yeah. I feel like once we get out of here, we'd be able to handle this whole Grindlebrew and his woman situation, you know?
Straight to the whorehouse. We're going to fix this.
Because they're going to take my keepership away. I just know it. Once I tell them, oh, God.
Well, if they do, you should just become one of those corrupted guardians. They're really tough.
You shouldn't feel guilty about nothing, cuz you didn't do nothing wrong.
I did, though.
What's that now? Come on.
Take someone's wife.
Roscoe.
I mean, I didn't take someone's wife, but I took a map. I took an ancient map. And
was it a map to her
It's
heart?
just a map, Roscoe. Come on.
yeah, but I mean, somebody more experienced could have come here and gotten the sword back. Instead, it's me.
Well, you just got to live with it. It'll be all right.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Come
guys.
on over here and have some coffee and sausage roll.
All right. I'll dip my sausage roll in my coffee.
Don't worry, Roscoe, if there's one thing I've ever learned, it's that things can always get worse.
Well,
oh, you would be dunking that sausage roll right in the coffee. Oh, you still do that.
You two just need to fight it out and have it over with and hug and make up.
Maybe when we leave here, we will.
All right. You guys ready to go back in?
And
yeah, I just want to really hit something.
You notice at this point you guys have you've got a little bit of rest. Tevin feels like he can walk the scarring around where his chainmail heated up and burned into his flesh is significant, and you can see even in the dim light just a hot red pinkish tent around his neck where it is chafed, and where you guys kind of just left him in the chainmail because that's all you guys could really do when you took a rest. And so he is haggard and tired and worn out and not in a great position, but he can walk at this point, and he thanks you for kind of coming to his aid there. And
we had your back the whole time.
Yeah, it was great.
The ladies are going to be fawning all over you when they see those scars.
yeah, chicks take scars, man.
Just the ones on the outside. The ones on the inside, they don't like.
Now they don't like emotional scars.
Does anyone else feel
Hide
cold?
those.
I'm so cold here.
Repressos.
It is cold a little bit. You need to come over here and
Maybe just
take some coffee.
Cuddle,
Tevin.
maybe a little hug. That might be nice. Just to be held again.
As he kind of takes, I guess you're serving this as a form of 10 cup here. You kind of see
basically like sharing a coffee cup.
He kind of drops it and it clangs down to the ground. And he kind of, I'm sorry. It was so hot. I'm sorry. I guess I wasn't expecting that. And he kind of bends down and comes over and tries to get the little pot that you brewed here.
My 2 important rolls for the day are 2 and 20.
They're good, man. That's some good rolls.
Nice.
Halfling 1 and a crit.
Beautiful. So, gentlemen, waiting next to you, Roscoe, 100 yards away, 100 feet away, well, maybe 120, 150 feet away from you, is possibly Lawbringer, a sword that you have been chasing your whole life, dreaming of, and you slept in a room just right next to it.
Yeah, on his watch, he was like just looking through the doorway like the whole time at it. Well, guys, this could be it. We either recover this sword, or it's just an illusion, or we could die. Either way.
There's a lot of things that could happen now I think about it.
Yeah, just stop pussyfooting around, Roscoe. Go grab your sword already.
Thanks for being here is what I was trying to get to. All right.
That's nice.
Start moving into the room.
I'm going to go ahead because that was some beautiful role play from everybody across the team. Everybody has inspiration that they can use moving forward. The inspiration is only going to be good for the rest of the evening. So you'll have to earn it again next week. Otherwise, Jim Davis will never use his.
It's the story. It's the story of inspiration. It's awarded once, and then you just have it. You never use it.
So as you guys make your way into the room, and the light is lighting up here. Hold on, wait. Give me just a second. I think we're missing a valued party member here.
We remembered him.
Tevin! Let me get
Hey,
Tevin.
that guy, he's here.
So and for the record, Tevin is at about 3 hit points right now.
Okay.
We're gonna put him at 3, and
He can hold a lantern, can he?
I could heal.
hold a lantern at 3 hit points. And he can swing a sword.
He gets death save, so it'd be fine.
As you guys make your way into the room, you see another guardian, ghostly-like figure come wading into view. This time it is much larger and different. This is not another halfling wearing a big set of armor. This is a sort of grayish humanoid, but again, still carries that kind of ghostly visage and almost, etherealness to him, where you can kind of see through it. And it just comes wading into view with a long sort of pike here.
Hey. Roscoe, is that the guy? Has he got the sword, do you think?
It looks like the guy, Roscoe.
Pretty big guy.
Yeah. He's got
Step up and just be like, name yourself, sir. I'm Roscoe 3stone.
Let me ask you guys this: what? Because this is important. What languages do you guys speak? Let's start with Huell. What do you speak here, Huell?
Common and halfling.
Okay, and Roscoe.
I speak. I forgot what page that's on. Here we go. Common, halfling, giant, and draconic.
Okay, and Grindlebrew.
Big human, dwarven, elven. Oh, and halfling.
And halfling, and Dave. What does Dr. Braso speak?
Common, elven, goblin, halfling, orc.
Okay, that's a bummer. So
That was it.
You guys all had like the same language. You all rolled halflings because so I mean it is what it is.
I mean, I have comprehend languages, so it's like you don't really. I can understand them all if I have time to cast it, but I don't.
Okay, so you basically see this thing as you kind of step up, Roscoe, and you said, hey, you said, who are you? Is that what you said? Is that correct?
Yeah, I was just like, name yourself, sir.
And you see it kind of give off a whisper. Rasun Tanskenda, Fino Sunda, Sin Sol Ver.
And Roscoe will just kind of turn around at everyone and just be like,
It's a weird name. It's a really long name.
Do you have a shorter name? Is
Like
a
an acronym.
It's like a
Beresunda Tsinda, Findo Sin for Sin Zover.
A lot about sin. The sinner. Maybe
Is
he's
he
a
a
priest. Hey. Some kind of
Huell,
undead priest.
I've seen. Do you know how to?
It'd take me a bit to understand what he's saying.
It reaches over and it takes its cloth and throws it off to the side.
You're naked
It
now.
seems like he's itching for a fight. You don't need to know what it's saying.
Like a flasher coat move.
Yeah.
Roscoe getting into it. How's Roscoe handling the challenge?
he pops his knuckles and snaps his neck and just like, well, if that's the way it's going to be, he'll just kind of pull the law out, sit it on his shoulder.
Cousin, is this supposed to be like a one-on-one thing? How's your order
take
duty?
out the pike and kind of give it a quick little twirl. Boskindar, Sindofon, Sinzor Ver.
Talk about his foreskin.
Well, I can just take a little off the tip if you want, but I just want Lawbringer, and I'll point at the sword behind him.
And you see it turn back, kind of look at the sword, and shake its head.
Well, I understand that. And all right, let's have at it then, sir.
All right, so let's go. All right, Roscoe, let's go ahead and roll all initiatives. And how about that? Roscoe is number 1 up on this initiative order. So, Roscoe, let's have at it, sir. What would you like to do?
Okay. Roscoe's going to run forward. 10, 15, 20. So he's going to basically run forward and dive between this thing's legs. Since I can move through a larger creature space, I assume it's larger.
It is.
Okay. And because I can move just to the other side of it, closer to Lawbringer, and that's 35 feet for me.
Okay.
So I'm going to basically run and pop through there and then come up, and I'm going to do all punches this first time and save my +2 to AC with my sword.
Thank you to Riley McMath for that $6.66. Thank you, my friend.
So that's
What's up, Riley? Appreciate
Bring
that,
the
buddy.
pain.
Number of the beast.
Oh my god. All right. And you come up and you slide underneath of it, come back up, immediately trying to engage this thing. The 18 gets there just easily as you thump into this thing twice.
Damn.
3 times.
So does 15 hit?
All 3 make contact.
Sweet. Okay, yeah, I just come up, roll between them, like hit him on either side of the inside of the knee, and then right in the kidney, or where the kidney would be.
Yeah, just come up like a whirlwind. Whap, whap, whap. Throw me some damage, buddy.
So that's gonna be...
I had somebody leave me a comment last week that said, hey, we're going to have a drinking game for every time Cody says get there. So I haven't been able to say that tonight.
I just drank.
Right. 14 total.
Waiting for it.
Yeah, 14. Absolutely well done, sir. So let me just unlock this thing so I can adjust its life one more time. Guess that's not going to work there. All right, so we'll just track this right here. Yeah, the 14 damage in total. And this thing just immediately, you come up, whap, 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 just like you said, and it disappears and reappears on the other side of you quickly, bringing down this huge pike right on top of you here.
AC 17.
Let's get an attack going for this bad boy. All right, and it fires off. Does a 17? I guess 17 is going to get there. And
My shield of faith is ink.
for 12 damage as it brings this pike down heavily, catching you off guard with that quick disappearance and reappearance. And that brings us over to Grindlebrew.
Question: can I shield of faith and spiritual weapon on same turn? One's an action, one's a bonus action.
Is one of them a cantrip?
No, you're right. Okay. Let's see.
We talked about that. Talked about that today.
Do we want? Yeah, Roscoe's gonna get pounded. There's shield of faith, Roscoe. And let's make sure I have a range on that actually. Before I do. Yeah, 60 feet. I got range on it.
And what does that look like? What does that look like, Grindlebrew?
It's like a big just kind of ring just comes up in front of him and just kind of holds around him. They had to crack through it in order to get to him. But whenever they do hit it, it does crack the ring and like smacks it open, as though a metaphor. So yeah, shield of faith on you. I'm gonna move. Let's move over here just to get into range a little bit better of a couple more spells. Let's see, check 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 is where I want to be, so I'll move it about there. Cool. That is Grindlebrew's turn.
Okay, and you can actually cast it real quick, so it'll pop up here in the chat.
Oh, there you go. Let's try doing that.
That brings us over to Dr. Hill.
All right. I will launch myself up here. Hunter's mark this guy.
Yep.
You got him right where you want him, cousin.
And I assume that's going to be all you can do this turn?
Yeah, that's a dash bonus
Huell.
action.
Huell, that brings us over to you, my man.
Well, seems as though our cousins have left us in the dust. So Huell is going to walk to here and
I would say, just for the record, while you're doing that, Huell and Dr. Braso, well, not Huell, you're fine. Dr. Braso, you are kind of in the edge of darkness here, where you're not really getting the light back here from Tevin, and you're not really getting the light coming in from the sword as well. So you're in a very dark situation. Go ahead, Huell.
Let's go. Come on, follow me, Tevin. And Huell's going to dash. I want to be a bit closer than where I am, but not quite in the mix. So Huell dashes.
Okay, you're going to dash, and then we're going to go in reverse order here for Tevin. Dave Friant, what is Tevin going to do?
Well, Huell told him to come along, so he's going to. There's 30 for him. Oh no, he's going back.
20, 25, 30. Okay. Are you going to move him? You want me to move him?
Oh yeah, you can move him.
Okay, cool.
And what does he got? He's got. Let's see. I think that's good for him right there. He's not doing so great. He's going to shine the lantern around, and be encouraging to us.
And be encouraging.
I'm still here with you guys.
All right, and so that is going to bring us all the way back around to the top of the turnover for Roscoe.
All right. Since I'm alone with this guy one more time, I'm going to do. I'm going to attack once with the law. So that's a 20 to hit.
You're going to get there. Absolutely.
Boom. 12 damage. And with my bonus, I'm going to take patient defense. Take the defense rests and take the dodge action. So that's an AC 17 with disadvantage to hit me.
Okay, so yeah, you come up and slash across and kind of hunker down, knowing that it has not just the natural height advantage, but also has advantage on you from its height position here on the stairwell with its pike. So you're going to try to cancel out that advantage. And that brings us back around to this guy, who is going to slash down at you furiously. And I'm going to do this at disadvantage. So that 13 is not going to get there. And it is going to step back up onto the platform to try to protect the sword. Grindlebrew.
Alrighty, this time Cool. Righty. This time I'm gonna move up to here, and I'm going to move that. I'm gonna do my other one. You know that one I do. You know that spell, what I do.
That. Roll that beautiful bean
that
footage.
Thing I do. Spiritual weapon. Let's do that one. So it's got a spiritual weapon on a 15 to hit this guy.
15 is gonna get there, absolutely.
Boom, the ring of power. The Grindlebrew's ring of power just appears as ring of love. Don't need to cancel that. Damage is 4 points of force damage on this guy.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely.
And that's a bonus action. It's the Sacred Flame the guy. He needs to make a DC 12 dexterity saving throw.
I bet that's a thing that he can do.
I bet he can.
He's got a 21.
Yep, saves. No damage.
He kind of ducks over to the side as this, I guess, magical warhammer pops in next to him and slashes at the side. He kind of, and that brings us over to Dr. Braso Huell. Hey there, Jordan. What's going on, buddy? I will have to grow an epic beard like Dave and Will.
You put money down on it. It has to happen.
It's a thing now. That's the thing that happens.
Let's see. What do we got here? What's the difference in height?
So this is probably about, I'd say maybe about 5 feet tall, up on this thing, and then in addition to that, he is a large-sized creature. So it's pretty high up there.
Okay. So that sword's all the way back there. All right.
Yeah, and then the sword is also on a raised platform.
The one thing we can't get objects up high.
That's it. Just put it on the top shelf, and our party is boned.
Halfling stack form.
I'm gonna actually take the dash action, and I want to. Can I make an athletics check to try and get up there?
So yeah, I think you can make an athletics check to go up. I mean, you could jump the 5 feet normally, but if you're trying to like not lose movement, I'd give you a DC 5 feet for you. I'd say
I'll just lose
well, yeah. I mean, you could do that, or you can make a DC athletics 15.
Because I think
that's pretty fair for 5 feet, and you're what 3-4.
A DC 15. You said I'm going to try it.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see.
You're trying to do it without losing momentum.
I am going to spend my inspiration.
I will allow it. Post the roll.
Well, I don't know how you guys do it.
No, you're good. You're good, man. You're good. The 16 gets there, so absolutely you can whip up there, so to speak.
I want to try and grab the sword with my whip.
Yeah, let's say 18 for the AC for that.
Okay. Oh, it doesn't do it.
The 16, not able to grab. You actually are able to like grab onto the side, and as you go to pull, it doesn't pull up and out of the stone that it is in. And that brings us over to Huell. What would you like to do?
All right, Huell is going to move up 5, 10, 20 right here, and he's going to target Mr. Shadowfey Guardian. And I'm going to see if this thing that I have works. One of my custom spells.
Ooh.
Weaving my strands of fate together, and I'm going to send him a curse of unluck. And so, pass the save. So he takes half damage.
Okay, so what is that half damage?
Half damage is 9 total, so it'll half psychic, or half of that psychic damage.
Okay.
Nothing else happens. But I will give, regardless of the save, I will give Roscoe the advantage to hit him.
Roscoe has the advantage to attack him.
Next attack
and that brings us over to Will Jones. What is Tevin going to do here?
Tevin he's got 3 HP. Let's just run over here and help. Let's help Huell. Give Huell a help action. And just
Thank you, Devin.
pat on the back, Devin.
All right, and that brings us back around to Roscoe. Roscoe, what would you like to do here?
Feeling the threads of magic assisting me, Roscoe will bound up these stairs and roll to the side, flanking this guardian with my cuz. So I've got one cuz helping me from here. I got one cuz helping me from over here. And Roscoe realized his accent started slipping out there. And gonna roll, and that's a dirty 20 to hit.
Dirty 21, and that is absolutely going to make contact, buddy.
And that's gonna be 11.
Wow, another whopping attack here.
And I can't tell if you're being sarcastic.
No, I'm not.
And then I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna flurry of blows. So that's a 18 to hit.
Gets there.
And we got a 4. Got a
4. Look at that. Oh.
So the one, just slash across the back, and then basically just like take the pommel of the sword and like hit him in the hip with the
absolutely
strike.
You come back up and hit him in the hip, and you can see this thing. It's not really engaged with you at the moment. It's got its attention turned towards Dr. Braso, and it is going to lash out at him with a multi-attack here. Jim, are you going to portent this?
Yeah, I meant to. I think I tried to portent one of Pruitt's attacks last round, but it was missed. I am going to give this guy the 2.
Okay, so there's the first one. That's going to be a 2, right? So that's not going to do anything. And so here's the second attack from the multi-attack, and it is a crit.
Oh, damn.
And it's going to come in for 30 damage on Dr. Hill.
That hurt. That hurt a lot. That long rest was a good thing.
Good choice.
And you kind of see it like almost like stutter and then just Brasinda and come back, and you feel the warm spray of Dr. Hill's blood on your face as you realize that this was a pretty significant injury that he just sustained.
Mm-hmm.
Actually see him fall back and off of the platform.
Cousin!
You're not going to take any additional damage.
Okay.
To Grindlebrew.
Sorry. I am going to see Dr. Braso in trouble, and I'm gonna use my cleric domain whatsy to heal you for 15 with my fist bump from range. Probably move in here actually just to do that on Dr. Braso, and then after healing for 15, I'm gonna spiritual weapon bonus action, which is 10 to hit versus this creature.
10's not going to get there. And I just want to quickly recap what happened last half round, because I think the stream actually dropped. I'm seeing a couple comments there. So Dr. Braso Hill took a massive 30 damage from this guardian here, and a warm spray of his blood came across Huell's face, and he was actually knocked off the platform before Grindlebrew jumps into action with his awesome fist bump of healing, I think is how he described it.
Oh, my liver. Oh, the love feels so good.
Is that all you want to do, Grindlebrew?
Yep. Move, action, bonus action.
Got it. Okay. That brings us back to Dr. Hill, who you find yourself laying prone on the floor below this large guardian.
So I'm going to use all my action to get up here. Hey, if you can give me that natural 20, I get a bunch of dice.
Yeah.
Are you going to portent this?
I was weighing whether or not. I know that Pruitt really wants this one, but I like all these extra dice that that Dr. Braso's poured around. Take that 20, sir.
All right.
So, he's going to portent this thing.
So I already have 2 dice, which will go up to 4.
This is not going to end well for this thing.
Plus 3, so 17 points of damage.
Yeah, absolutely. Feeling that kind of recharge of energy and the urgency of the moment, you just leap back up immediately, and you can kind of feel the magic emanating from Huell. And as you kind of look over at Huell, you can see his eyes have widened over, and you come up and just get a gnarly stab into this thing as it's already turned its attention over to Roscoe, thinking it's defeated you back. And you dig into it for 17 points of damage. Well done, sir.
Still standing?
It's still standing, my man.
All right. Then it gets the whip. So 18?
Gonna get there, absolutely.
All right. So we get there for another 5 points of damage.
5 points of damage. Well done, sir. That brings us to Tevin, and that is going to be Jonathan Pruitt. Jonathan Pruitt, what is Tevin going to do?
Throw the lantern at him.
I mean, does Tevin have any kind of ranged weapon at all, like a dagger, even?
He does not. Most of the guards actually had crossbows, but when you guys fled from the orcs, he was unable to keep that on him.
Well, you know, he's pretty ass whipped, and so he's gonna continue to give the help action to Huell here.
Okay, he's gonna continue to help Huell. And that brings us over to Huell himself.
All right. Let's see if we can land one of these things. Huell is appreciate the help, Devin. Devin, why don't you just make sure we line this up real quick, and then he's gonna Ray of Frost to this guy.
Yeah, fire it off there.
You know what? I will use that inspiration.
Okay, so the first one is a 9. See if you can do a little bit better than that.
No.
Oh!
There's that 4.
Bam.
4 count. What are we up to?
I'm so sorry, Jim Davis. I know this is how I felt with Kalium.
I only took 1 attack spell for a reason, because I mostly just wanted to do other things.
Rough, and yeah, you're firing off, and even though it's a large target, the kind of height advantage, and as you kind of snap back in from that sort of divination that you just had there, you aren't able to focus in and land this thing. It goes a little bit wide and high above Roscoe's head. Speaking of which, that brings us back over to Roscoe 3 Stone, as you have this guardian now facing you. Very soon the sin's over.
Well, I'm going to take inspiration from Huell and use inspiration myself.
Okay.
And
you use that inspiration.
It's time that this guy understands just exactly what it means to tangle with the law.
Yeah, the 23 gets there. Absolutely.
Hang on, I got to take a drink. Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
Hang on, I had to drink for your get there. And then I'm going to follow that up with another punch. So 16 to hit.
It's going to land.
And 7 damage on the punch.
20 damage, and is that all the attacks you're going to make?
Yeah, that's all I got. I already spent all my key.
Yeah, absolutely. You come in and you can just feel the weight distribution behind your punches, and they're landing in solidly with that clenched fist that you spent years mastering, just the clenched fist version of. And you can see this guy grimace as it feels like he's being attacked by a stone itself, and he is going to retaliate at you twice with his
17.
With his pike here. So we've got the first attack against you, Roscoe, is a 14. Comes over high. He comes back down with a massive 23 and slashes down into you for another 12 damage. And I'm seeing a thing here that exceeds your hit points by 1. Does that actually drop you?
I drop to the ground.
Yeah, he comes back in over the top and slashes down into you, and you can feel the blade from the first one going high, and you kind of come back up, cuts right into you, and you quickly lose your breath, and you feel like you're just falling backwards, and you fall unconscious.
Yeah.
The Guardian whips back around to stare you down as it's trying to turn over to you there, Dr. Braso. And that brings us to Grindlebrew.
Oh, Roscoe's not looking too good. Okay, Roscoe, you'll be fine. And I'm going to cure wounds on the Roscoe. For a D10 plus 5, so for 10 points of healing.
Nice.
So move and action, and then spiritual weapon on this guy for 10.
Yeah, the spiritual weapon's not going to get there, but absolutely, you hear that big gasp of air as Roscoe
Just a kiss
kind
of
of
life.
snaps back into consciousness.
The magical
Dr.
kiss
Braso
of life.
Hill. You're not going to have advantage, or you're not going to have flanking here because Roscoe is still prone.
Okay, no worries. This is for my cousin, you dirty son of a bitch.
You might be able to drop with this turn.
Not with a 5, I won't. But let's unleash the whip.
Yeah, and then the
Dirty
whip,
20.
absolutely the whip rips across with a loud crack, and you can see it as it's kind of turning to face you with its pike. You slash across its face, and it just kind of winces back down before it brings its arms up for another attack.
I'm going to use my movement to actually move away. I will take the attack of opportunity.
Yeah, and it's going to do just that.
I want to do something cool, though. Can I whip the statue and, like, swing away?
Yes, because that's a cool thing.
I'm totally going to do that.
You're probably going to drop first, though. So this pike is going to come in and deal a whopping 15 points of
I'm
damage.
fine. I got plenty of hit points left.
I healed you for that much.
Yeah. Your mother wears army boots.
And you whip back down as you leap away from this thing. How much damage did you do with that thing, by the way? Was it 4 with the whip?
That was only 4.
4? Okay. And that brings us over to Huell. And you can see Huell as you kind of hear this of Roscoe coming back to life. This thing lashing out at Dr. Braso. You can even hear how big and heavy this thing is. It's breathing hard. And it looks like it's worse for the wear.
It's not a ghost. I guess I misunderstood. It's a thing. It's a living thing.
It
Seemingly.
had a ghostly etherealness to it, but you can hear it breathing.
If I can hear it breathing, that might change things a bit. And Huell reaches into his sling bag and pulls out some spell components and whispers something to the Fey Guardian. And we'll see what happens here. Success. Nothing happens. I tried to distract it, but nothing happens.
Trying to distract it, and you can see it pause for just a second and kind of it's looking for targets. And the one target it sees is directly in front of it, and it makes eye contact, not realizing Roscoe is back up behind it.
Mhm.
It makes eye contact directly with Tevin. Jim Davis, it's actually your turn to let me know what Tevin does as it sees this thing, eye it viciously.
Drops the lantern and runs away.
Whoa. Did you skip me?
No, it's going to be your turn right here after
never
Tevin
mind.
goes.
What does
You're
Tevin do?
literally next.
Tevin has been helping Huell. Tevin is going to freeze. He doesn't know what to do.
He's going to panic.
He's going to panic. He doesn't even take the dodge action.
Roscoe, you're coming back to life. You kind of hear a crack of a whip from Braso, and you see the combat. You hop up. I assume you hop up to your feet. What would you like to do here?
It's giving up my reaction to stand up. Yes.
Yes, you give up your bonus and your reaction to stand up from prone without taking an attack of opportunity.
Okay. Well,
But you still have your move and your standard action.
I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna stand up and I mean I'm the law and the law don't run. And so he stands up, just kind of like stands up. Everything's kind of in slow motion as he sees his cuz swinging away, and he's just gonna take a swipe with his sword because it's all that he knows. I should not have rolled with. Wait, what did I?
And it dropped.
It's doing the same thing it did to me last week.
Got rid of my 20.
It's doing the same thing it did to me last week.
Hang tight. I think I know how to do this here. And boom! Now give me a roll, buddy.
Never heard anyone so angry.
Oh my god! Oh, that is so awesome.
Yes.
I just want to tell you, it has about 12 hit points left, just so you know.
Okay. Well, I'm going to drop 21 on its ass as I just stand up and just come up with an upward swipe right between its legs and try to cleave this thing in half. Just like,
Absolutely. And you can you guys all hear this just kind of roar throughout the chamber. And you see this thing kind of fall and slump down, and it's screaming and screaming and starting to shake and kind of go into shock as its leg has been completely severed and it is bleeding out quickly. And then it disappears, leaving only its armaments, much like the previous corrupted guardians.
Oh my
Way to
God.
go, cuz.
Even its blood, like that it bled out on the floor, that disappears as well.
Gone.
Huell is keeping an eye on the statues.
It's yours, Roscoe the sword. You defeated it.
You all right, cuz?
Kind of like he's like Roscoe's now leaning on his sword, like almost like a staff.
You're gonna ruin it, and he'll hand him his quarterstaff. Lean on this. Don't ruin your sword.
No, I have to lean on the law. It's all I know. And just kind of he'll sheath it
Roscoe.
back. Yeah.
You don't have to be so literal, Roscoe.
I have a bunch of them. And Roscoe is then going to like move up to the raised dais where the sword is. And how tall did you say it was?
It's not very tall for you. It looks like it's about appropriate height.
And yeah, he'll just kind of look at it, and he'll look over at Huell, because all this has been kind of eating away at his optimism, and he's just like, Huell, do you think that this is this has magic on it? Do you know?
I mean, if we want to wait a second, I can find out, but it certainly seems magical. And the way that thing went after Dr. Cousin over there,
yeah,
there's something with it. But I agree, this whole place smells like a trap.
I think I'd feel much better if you were to look at this with your keen eye.
Why don't you rest up, and I'll see what I can see. And he'll do his he'll bust out his ritual implements and start his thing.
And Tevin is kind of just, I am so ready to leave this place. Is anybody else doing anything while Huell is fixing up his ritual?
I'm just gonna go watch over Huell and make sure he's okay. You know,
Gonna watch over
why he's
Devin.
focused on that.
And Roscoe, sorry, go ahead, Grindle.
He's just looking after Tevin. He looks pretty shook up, so I'm gonna calm him down.
And then Roscoe, what are you doing here while Huell is preparing this?
He's just basically over there taking a knee, but he is just staring at that sword, like laser focused, just like.
It's embedded in the stone, right?
It looks like it's literally embedded in the stone.
Okay.
Kind of reminds me of Treadwell.
Few minutes go by. And by the way, if you look at kind of the pillar of the platform that it's on here, Roscoe, while you're staring at the stone, you're seeing all the same symbols that you saw in the Blue Garden. You're seeing the same type of markings that are here in the Temple of the Blue Rose. You're seeing the Golden Lion. You're seeing all of those same things, those same themes are just repeating itself. It feels like you're home almost, minus the dark, cold dampness of the air here. And after a few minutes, Huell, this thing, it beams up. It beams up with about 4 or 5 different types of magics
Beam
around.
me up, Roscoe.
Yeah. Well, Roscoe, this thing's lit up like it's lit up like me after a Friday night.
Yeah, Huell, you know how to tie one on. That's for sure.
Well, I just tell you, be careful with it. There's a lot of powerful magic in here, and when it's like that, it changes a halfling. Gets to them. So just be careful.
But it's not going to explode in my face, is it?
I don't think so, but I'd have to put hands on it to tell you what it really does.
Well, screw it. And Roscoe just like stands up, walks over to to the dais, and he's gonna try to pull the sword out.
The second you put your hand on the hilt of the sword, boom, you find yourselves, all of you, standing outside in a bright, cold, airy morning. There's snow all around you. And in front of you guys, you notice the mountain. You notice home, Grindlebrew. You feel like there's the house. There's Dawncross right up the road here. You guys, you might be back on the material plane. And as you look down, Roscoe, you see this sword, this beautiful, bright, glowing golden sword that once was sitting in this pillar is now dull and rusted and feels cold in your hand. And at this point, you see it kind of, and it lights up in a purple fire-like glow in your hand. And you guys can feel deep in your chest like a big bass sound ripples through you as a wave of almost clear like energy just explodes outwards from you, knocking you all off your feet and onto your asses. And you can see this thing ripple through the air, through into the trees, through the path, and going up towards Dawncross. Vroom. And it kind of gives off this deep hum. At this point, as you guys stare up at the mountain, you see a crackle of purple energy beam down onto the top of the mountain off in the distance. And it's just humming there, like it's coming from the sky. And then suddenly, as quick as it came, it is gone. And you guys are left in a bright, beautiful, clear, snowy, and cold day.
Is Tevin with us?
Tevin is with you.
Thank God. Thank the
We're
gods.
saved by Coolmog.
And that, gentlemen, is where we will leave off this week. I know it's about 10 minutes early, but I think that is certainly a fitting point to end. So,
goddamn. Well, we nailed that fight. That's why.
That's great. So we got the sword. It's all right now.
Yeah, you guys clearly got Lawbringer.
The sword. Curious. Huell's curious what he sees with his detect magic still going up, like if he can sense the magic of the when they translate between planes.
Oh, that sounds like some shit that would burn your eyes right out of your head.
He routinely just like eats a bunch of mushrooms and detects magic.
It happens.
It's the thing to do.
I think we've got a few awesome words for our sponsors, guys. Guys, listen, thank you so much for joining us. We want to give a couple of quick shout outs here. Jim Davis, since you didn't get the chance to on the first go round.
Oh my God. You know what? I only just realized.
That was like amazing.
Why don't you remind the folks about the Archania giveaway that's going on and talk about our sponsors here a little bit.
All right, guys. So we are Archania Workshop is one of our new sponsors. They're really helping us out. We got 2 shows this season, right? Like we got this one in the Numenera game on Mondays, which was totally awesome. You guys got to check it out on Mondays. And so they're doing a giveaway. They've got 3 sort of, I guess they're resin, right? Or are they a different kind of set? I forget. But they're like scenery for
resin,
your games.
I believe,
But it's like a graveyard kind of thing. There's like an arch. There's a blacksmith. It's great centerpiece for a campaign or just a fun project to paint and create just something interesting to throw into your games. So be sure to check out that giveaway. I believe the link is in the description of the video. Yes?
Yes, it is. You guys can see it right now.
Okay.
Whether you're live or watching later, it's the very first thing that you will see down there in the description box.
Awesome. And so, and then for one more week, we've got the coupon code Saber Dice for 10% off anything else that you get from Archania Workshop. And then don't forget to check out our other sponsors, Fantasy Grounds, of course. As every time we play, we learn something new and continue to explore the depths of this very robust and easy to use system. Once you get the hang of it, everything has a learning curve. It's totally fine. And then the other one is Dungeon Painter Studios by Pyromancers. All the amazing maps that we see. And of course, you can trick them out by going to their Steam workshop and getting all kinds of tile sets and items and stuff for them. So check out our sponsors. Yeah, check out our sponsors. It helps us out. It helps them out. And hopefully get something cool for your game.
A couple things to Archania Workshop. They also have this amazing Orcus over there that's really freaking cool.
I saw that one.
And
It's huge, man.
And they also have some like future terrain too. Like, so if you're playing like Starfinder or something else like that, they got some stuff over there.
Yeah, man, go check them out. Go check them out. We appreciate the sponsorship, Archania, and they've got some really cool swag over there. So, guys, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it, and we will be back next. No, excuse me. Wait, 2 weekends from now, right, Dave? Because you're not going to be here. You're not going to be here, right?
Next week I will be in Cleveland. Concoction. Nerdarchy has been invited as guests to the convention over there. And next week, and if you go look pretty much on a lot of our stuff over on Nerdarchy, you can see we have a survey out to find out who wants to meet up with us. So the day before the con, we're going to throw some kind of shindig together. And whenever we can get enough people together to have a game of D&D, we will run a game of D&D for you guys. It's just what we do.
So, guys, we will be back in 2 Wednesdays from now. But don't fret. We have the Fury game, of course, going on Monday. So that's going to continue on like normal. So Harbinger, this D&D show with all of us, will be back on the 14th of March, where we will find out what is going on with Lawbringer. And if you guys and you guys can check out Fury, of course, that'll be back on Monday night on the 5th. A little bit of a different time. You guys can follow us on Twitter and catch all that information. So we really appreciate it. Do you guys have anything else you want to add?
That's it. Thanks for watching, guys.
All right, guys. We love your faces. We will see you guys in a couple of weeks. Take care, guys.
Bye.
Stay nerdy.